Lots of parents tell me that they find it hard to talk to their partners about parenting issues without things turning into a fight or a bit of a blame fest. So I want to give you a few quick tips for having positive and constructive conversations with your partner or your co-parent about parenting. And there are some simple rules that you need to stick to. The first one is signal in advance that you want to have a conversation. Don't ambush them, otherwise you're much more likely to get a defensive response. So signal, I'd really like to talk about this, and check, is this a good moment? Is this a good time to have this conversation? And maybe delay if necessary. Secondly, once you're in the conversation, be specific. So be really clear about exactly what you want to talk about. Don't make global statements like, oh, you never do this or you always do this. Talk about one thing at a time. Don't bring into that conversation everything that your co-parent has ever done that you found difficult or annoying. Be specific. Next, try and keep your tone calm and neutral. And I know that's easy to say, isn't it? And when we're emotional, it's much harder to do. But if you can remember, go low and go slow. So as you're talking, make a conscious effort to lower your pitch, lower your volume, and talk slowly, so you're considering the words that are coming out. And that can be very helpful for both choosing the right words, but also maintaining a calm and a neutral tone to have the conversation. Remember to use I statements. Own the problem that you want to talk about. So say things like, I find it hard when, or if you need to talk about, your partner's behavior, say, well, when you do this, I get upset. So you're still really owning the reaction rather than distributing blame and say, you're doing that wrong, you shouldn't do that. So try to avoid shoulds and shouldn'ts and use I statements. And check regularly that you're being understood. Allow it a bit of space. Stop and allow communication time to happen. Rather than just ploughing on to try and hammer home a message, just stop and say things like, does that make sense? Can you see what I'm trying to say there? Can you understand how I'm feeling? And finally, aim for a collaborative solution. So particularly try and head towards we statements. So starting off with I'd really like it if we could agree a way forward or a joint approach to tackling this behaviour, for example. If you stick to those tips, really simple tips, you're much more likely to have constructive, problem-solving conversations rather than conversations that degenerate into blame and that generate defensiveness. So give it a go. It won't be perfect. It's never that parents can completely agree on these things, but you'll find it a little bit easier to find your way to the solutions if you stick to those speaking tips. Good luck.